Fam, what's up? How's it going? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Let me know how the sound is coming in inside the comment box. Want to make sure that you guys are getting nice and crisp audio. Man, today Alabama held its first practice of the 2023 season. Can you believe that we're already here at the 2023 season? How the show is going to work, I'm going to do a side-by-side. And what that means is I'm going to pipe in the video footage that Alabama sent us today. We're going to go by that. We're going to go through it together. We're going to look at what stands out from practice. And then I'm going to take your calls later on in the show. As you can see, 205-850-1994. Hey, John, how's the audio? Is it coming in good? What's up? Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Sharona, I appreciate you becoming a member of our YouTube channel. Hit the join button at the bottom of this video, fam. I need your support, right? Like, this is what I do for a living. So I really appreciate you guys becoming a member. Super chats, hitting that thumbs up goes a long way. I really appreciate you guys. And let's just get it going. This is what I wanted to do. So how the show is going to work. And then again, thank you very much, Sharona. What we're going to do, I'm going to open up the footage from today and let's just go through it. Let's talk about it. You guys let me know what stands out. I'm going to bring it up a little bit wider so we can see just, more of Alabama football. And I think I can pop myself up on the bottom of the screen down here somewhere. And I want to get your feedback inside the comment box. See, here I am. What's up, Jarvis? I appreciate you guys. So let's go over this footage one by one. And it starts out with the defensive backs. Okay, so as you can see, Nick Saban right here in your center screen, working with the defensive backs. He calls himself a DB's coach. And right away, I want to start off right here. So number one, this is Kool-Aid JaQuincy McKinstry right here to the left. Number 3 is Terrion Arnold. And number 12, and let's get up to date on the roster. So bring out your roster. This is Antonio Kite. One thing that really stands out to me is the size of Terrion Arnold and Kool-Aid. So let's let this run. And as you can see, what's really going to stand out, at least to me, is the size that Kool-Aid really put on during the summertime. And same thing with Terrion Arnold right here, number 3. As you can see, his body type, even his thighs are big, right? And I think these guys both did a good job of adding on some good weight during that 2023 summer season. Now, 23 right here that Coach Saban's working with, that is Trey Amos. Now, Trey Amos came over. He was a transfer that Alabama was eager to get on board, and he's working with Kool-Aid. And as you can see, Kool-Aid right here to your left, Kool-Aid, am I wrong? Kool-Aid and Terrion definitely stand out, right? Am I wrong about that? They certainly do. And these guys are working with the secondary, and Saban working with those guys. Coach Saban is a DB coach, 1,000,000%. Terrion Arnold right there getting a work in. I think that I couldn't see the number on that, but that was the defensive backs. Now, there's your wide receivers right here. So number 17 to the far right, that is going to be Isaiah Bond, a player that we've talked about several times. In the center right there, number 3, that is Jermaine Burton. And then to the far side of your screen on the left, that is Ja'Cory Brooks. That's a junior. And as you know, Jermaine Burton is a senior. And then Isaiah Bond, one of those super sophomores that we've talked about. So those are those guys right here on your screen. As you can see, Kendrick Law, look at him to the left. Let's rewind that real fast. So we can get another taste of what those wide receivers are bringing. Because I think when we look to those super sophomores, right, they certainly stand out. And right here, here's that first group. So the second group is Kendrick Law is going to be the close side to us, right? Number 19 is Kendrick Law. And then number 18 right there, that is going to be Shaz Preston. So I just want to kind of update you on the numbers, make sure you guys know who we're watching, what we're looking at here. Number 80 right here, that is, of course, Kobe Prentice. And number 24, that is Emmanuel Henderson. Number 16 right here to the far side of your screen, that is Jaron Hamilton. Now, we have a first look at the Alabama quarterbacks, and this is Jalen Milroe, as you know, number 4, and you have Ty Simpson right here working on some sort of a bootleg coming out. I do like Ty Simpson's throwing motion. This is our first opportunity to see Tyler Buckner right here, right, on this boot that they're doing. Number 12, this is another quarterback by the name of Dylan Lonergan. He had a really good spring game. A lot of people really excited about him. And then number 10 is Eli Holstein. Those are the 2 freshmen that Alabama brought in as well. Here's Buckner. Looks like he's going to hit Robbie Oots. That was a nice little dump off pass to the tight end. And then you have Jalen Milroe hitting Danny Lewis. I believe that is number 87. And here is Ty Simpson hitting Miles Ketzelman. That is number 88. Amari Niblack. That was number 84. Who's going to catch a pass right there? That was a nice throw from Buckner. Let's look at that again. Here is Jalen Milroe. Kind of has this over the top style delivery, right? And then Simpson, as you can see, a little bit more compact. And then look at this throw right here by Buckner, right here. I like that. Right? I mean, that was a nice grab, too, by Amari Niblack. And then here is Jalen Milroe again and Ty Simpson. I mean, look, Coach Saban, he talked about the quarterbacks, and he was like, look, I'm not going to talk about the quarterbacks all, fall camp. I mean, he's going to let it develop. Nice ball right there from Ty Simpson to Kobe Prentice. And then you have Tyler Buckner right here with a nice pass that is going to be to number 19. That is Kendrick Law. And nice catch right there from Emmanuel Henderson. Number 2, we're looking at the running backs. That is, of course, Jace McClellan. He's back. He's hungry. He's healthy. Coach Saban talked about the running backs today, said that this is probably the most loaded group that he has. Look to the entire roster. Now, I didn't see Richard Young within this roster. Now, look, these guys could be getting taped up, whatever it is, so don't read too much into that. And then you have some of the offensive line right here working. And I'm curious to see what this offensive line does this coming year. Number 77, let's go look at that. That is going to be Jaden Roberts, 6'5", 316 pounds, a redshirt sophomore. Good to see him kind of out of the gates early on. And Coach Saban was asked about tackles today. Number 69 in the center of your screen, that is going to be Terrence Ferguson. So you're starting to see some of these guys who are young going to get, more reps and kind of put their best foot forward right there. Number 56, that is going to be Seth McLaughlin, right? Seth McLaughlin, a guy who's probably vying for that starting center spot. So let's kind of look at the offensive line again. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football of YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Yeah, as you can see, Seth McLaughlin working with the center position right there. Overall, I think this offensive line, we want to see how it shakes out. Number 55, I just kind of want to run through the numbers so you guys know who we're looking at. That is Rock Montgomery, 6'3", 332 pounds out of Anniston, Alabama. Getting some good footage right there of him. And then number 74 on the offensive side, that is Caden Proctor, 6'7", 354 pounds. That's what he's listed at on the Alabama roster. Looking at the Alabama defensive line right here, number 94 in front of us. We're going to look at the roster real quick. I have it brought up on the right. That is Edric Hill, 6'3", 294 pounds. Coach Saban said that Dowden Jones-Bell, when you look at the wide receivers, has a medical issue. So I think they're trying to figure out what to do with him, but he's not on the roster at this current point. Sorry, I didn't bring that out when we were talking about the wide receivers. And then you have, let's see, number 95 getting out the football right there. And we'll pause it. And that is Monkel Goodwin. I'm excited to see Monkel Goodwin, right? I mean, I think he's a guy we're all excited about. But let's let everybody get kind of checked in. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Let the quarterbacks run real quick. This is Jalen Milroe getting in some work. And then you have Ty Simpson behind him. All three of the quarterbacks, you can't really see much from this. I mean, you can, I guess, but not an overwhelming amount, just as Saban wants, right? Because Saban's not talking about the quarterback play until it's time to. And I don't think we're going to know who the quarterback is that's going to lead this team really even into week 3 or week 4. Kind of listening to the guys talk today within the media room. Just whoever starts against week 1 doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the starter that starts against Texas or finishes out the season. I think this quarterback race is very highly contested, and we're just going to have to wait and let it develop. Coach Saban keeps mentioning the cake. If you're just joining us, number 8 is Tyler Buckner, the transfer from Notre Dame. Number 4 is Jalen Milroe, and number 15 is Ty Simpson. All these guys vying for the Alabama quarterback position. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys joining us from wherever you're coming from. Let me know where you're coming from inside the comment box. Hit the join button at the bottom of your screen. Now is a good time to call in 205-850-1994. If you've listened to Nick Saban's press conference, what stood out to you? from his conference today. He looked pretty relaxed. I was in the press conference earlier at the Nayland Stone Center, which is located at the University of Alabama, and looked relaxed. Came in a little after 4:45 after practice. A nice thunderstorm cooled things down for the Crimson Tide, and Coach Saban came in and he focused on what needed to be said about his team during this time of year, and he made it a point that he didn't really want to talk about the quarterbacks. And I get it. Look, he's going to be asked about quarterbacks, up until there is a starter named. But there's much more about this team, and I want to see those wide receivers. I agree with the fact Coach was talking about the running backs. And I 100% agree. That group of running backs is completely loaded. Call in now. Call line is open, 205-850-1994, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I want to get your take on, this team. What you think about this team, the strong play, where it's going to be. We didn't get any footage, I don't think, of the inside linebackers. There was also some photos that they sent to us. I'll play those photos now while we're kind of in the background. We didn't really get to see too many photos from the inside linebackers. This is Robert Bala, who takes over for Pete Golding at the inside linebacker position. And yeah, like David's pointing out inside the comment box, I mean, Coach is baking a cake and going to put candles on top of it so the other team can blow it out in their dreams. Yeah, I mean, look, there's so much about this team in it, and I think it kind of revolves around the new OC and the new DC. How exciting is that, right? Like that Alabama has a chance to really do some different things. Look at this young man right here. Go back. We'll just go back one. This is Caleb Downs, right? Like that's a freshman. Isn't that amazing, right? Like between him and Justice Haynes, it's really amazing. And on the roster, Caleb Downs is 6 foot, 203 pounds. I mean, looks a little bit bigger to me, in my opinion. Brock is saying that CJ Dupree is going to be a beast. I hope he is. I really hope he is, because even Coach Saban, he was asked about the tight ends today, and he did mention some good things about CJ Dupree. Like I said, I think probably critical about the tight end play. I haven't really been impressed with the tight ends maybe since Irv Smith left. And it is what it is. I think Alabama needs a dynamic tight end. Miller Forrestall, great dude, great interview. What a great person that dude is. But, he's more serviceable. Cam Latu, I know he got drafted by the 49ers, but kind of serviceable as well. I just don't think they've had a tight end that could really take over the game. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? I don't even know if CJ Dupree is going to be that guy. I mean, I guess it depends on how they get him to football and what kind of situations they get him in. But, I just think we're still looking at kind of some serviceable tight ends. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, following Alabama's first practice of the 2023 season. You can watch Alabama's, Nick Saban's press conference right here on our YouTube channel. And you can also watch the highlights in their entirety on our YouTube channel. Just go to Bama Football on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I also feel strongly that the offensive line is going to. That's a good picture right there of Kevin Steele. Kevin Steele is a new DC that got, that came from Miami, but has been with Alabama I think this is like third tenure, right? We've talked about that several times. If Alabama's offensive line is able to take a really big step forward, which I think they're going to because of Eric Wolford, I honestly feel that is how impactful Eric Wolford is going to be on the offensive line. I remember talking with Andrew Bone about the offensive line, and I think Eric Wolford is a guy that he was at Kentucky and he came over to Alabama with a mission to really resurrect this Alabama offensive line. And when you look to the guys that Eric Wolford brought right away in that first recruiting class, I mean, all of those guys, as we've talked about, are monsters. 6'7", 360 pounds. I mean, you look at, Miles McVay, you look at Caden Proctor. I mean, those guys are just giants. I think this is CJ Dupree right there, right? That number 81. I'll look at the roster real quick just to double check, but I think it is. Yeah, that's CJ Dupree, and he's a big dude. 6'5", 257 pounds. look, I hope it's either him or Mari Nyblack or Robbie Oots or some sort of, setup to where each of those tight ends can get the ball and be dynamic. And I think, if one of these quarterbacks can get them the football, all the better. If these guys are situational, whether it's in goal line play or red zone play, whatever it is, I want to see a dynamic tight end. I think that is so important in the world of college football today. You look at what George has been able to do with Brock Bowers. That guy's a complete monster. And I'm not saying that one of these guys needs to be Brock Bowers. I'm just saying that Alabama needs a dynamic tight end. But as I was saying about the offensive line, I think Eric Wolford will do a really good job with that offensive line. And this offensive line should be better. But I think next year, that 2024 season, I think they probably have one of the top offensive lines in the entire country. You pair that with whoever's going to take over the quarterback spot, and then you pair that with a Justice Haynes and a Richard Young, and then some of those wide receivers that are going to be juniors. That next year's offense, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves because we're in 2023. But if you just kind of look to 2024, Alabama's offense is going to be ridiculous, right? As those wide receivers continue to grow up. I mean, this year they're going to be ballers. Isaiah Bond, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, Manuel Henderson, all those guys, the young cats. Next year they're going to be phenomenal. And I think they're going to get plenty of playing time this year. I mean, Kobe Prentice played in a ton of games last year as a freshman. Isaiah Bond spot played, and Kendrick Law. I mean, that's a guy who is certainly very capable of doing some good things. Number 87, we're starting to get more and more, clips or whatever of Danny Lewis. And sometimes kind of reading between the lines, you can see that these are the guys that are, starting to get some looks. So maybe Danny Lewis is a guy that we might be sleeping. I know you guys probably haven't been sleeping on him because I think a lot of you have mentioned Danny Lewis inside the comment box. 6'5", 255 pounds, redshirt freshman out of Louisiana, Westgate. Call line is open 205-850-1994. Love to hear from you tonight regarding Alabama's first practice or regarding Nick Saban's press conference. What did you think about the press conference overall? What was the mood? You can also drop me a question inside the comment box. I'd love to get your questions. I'll field it for you when we look to this Alabama team going into the 2023 season. I loved Coach Saban's overall demeanor today. He's relaxed. Did you guys see he bought that home in Jupiter, Florida, like 17 mil or whatever? I don't think that means that he's going to retire anytime soon, but man, that sure is a nice place to vacation to, right? We got our first caller and we'll take it right now. It's a 337. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, man, it's David from Louisiana.
Hey, David, good to hear from you again, man. So one practice down and, hundreds to go. Any thoughts or impressions after listening to Nick Saban tonight?
I just felt like Nick Saban was, I don't know, his demeanor was just amazing. Like he ain't got a care in the world. Like he knows something is dynamic, special about this team. He was cutting up, joking. Usually when things don't go right, other than the quarterback situation, like everybody's stressing out over, I'm not too much worried about that because if we have the receivers, tight ends, running backs, and the defense that we're expecting, we can have a subpar quarterback. We've had them before in the past. Running back, receivers, tight ends, and defense has always been there. I'm 48 years old. I could probably go in and do decent as a quarterback and still win 15 games, But just watching and listening to Coach Saban today was just something you don't usually see. It's not like he's stressing and worried. I know it's still early. Anything can happen, but he just was in good spirit. And usually he's not like that, I mean, he's usually pretty much focused big time and, short on his answers sometimes. But today, it was just a total different outlook from him. It was just an amazing experience listening to him and watching him up there smiling and cutting up with the press and everything.
on the line with David from Louisiana, doing a quick headphone change on the fly. Just a little behind the scenes thing. Like, I literally do everything on the YouTube channel. I do the graphics, I do the titling, I do my own audio, I do everything. Like, I'll give you guys like a day in the life tour one of these times. So, I do everything. And we're on the line with David tonight from Louisiana. I thought the same thing. And I think, David, the thing about it is, I think Saban likes laying in the weeds. I think he likes that underdog because, look, Alabama's going to be a lot better than a lot of people think so. I mean, we look to, the SEC Media Day, and I pointed out this on the last show. Like, there was only one guy, J.C. Latham, who was first team all SEC. Saban's got to love that. You imagine how nice it must be to print that out and for Saban just to post that inside the locker room? Right? On the defensive side, I think there was just a couple guys, Kool-Aid and maybe Dallas Turner. But other than that, like, that's it. I mean, those must be really nice pieces of rat poison for Nick Saban to post up. So they're going to get this quarterback thing figured out. They have a lot of talent on the defensive side. The running backs are, but we're not even really talking about the running backs, but that room is ferocious. I would venture it, like, if you're out there and you know more about the world of college football in terms of like the entire landscape, who has a better running back room from top to bottom than Alabama? I don't think there's. I think Alabama has the number one running back unit in the entire country, right? Look, Jace, Roydell, Jam Miller. Oh, Coach said that Jam Miller has a small injury that he should be back, kind of like a day-to-day thing. But then you have Justice, and then you have Richard Young. Like, that is an entirely loaded running back room.
Yep, definitely. And I like to see Justice, get some snaps, and I'm pretty sure he'll get some in the first game of the year, And if he breaks out and does like we're all expecting him to, like he did in the spring game, be ready to watch him as well in the Texas game and further games throughout the season. I'm sure they're going to rotate him in and out. And I just have a gut feeling about him and Justice and Jam, that if these other guys don't step up, these two guys are hungry. And we talked about it last time on the show, where Jam was trying to make a statement in that Kansas game and several other games where he was just he has been one of the most physical running backs I've seen since Eddie Lacy almost, and Derrick Henry. I mean, it's just the truth. And that's what we need. We don't need these little fancy spin around, let me dance on my tippy toes ballerina stuff, which that's okay from time to time. I want one of these guys that running backs to have that 1970 running back feel to him, like a Barry Sanders or someone who's just going to like truck you over and then tap dance on your head and just keep on going to the end zone. That's what I want. I don't want to see some little, I'm running out of bounds and he's 5 yards away from me. I want you to put your shoulder in and drive through him and gain another 2 or 3 yards. I mean, I that's just me. That's just me. I need some physicality in my life.
Yeah, and I think you're right, David. You've said it before. Like, you want physicality from your running backs, just as you said. And Jam Miller is that antidote, right? Like, that guy is going to run you over. I think Justice Haynes is a combination running back, all-purpose style. Jace has a lot of power. Roydell Williams, get him, inside the goal line and let him kind of be that bowling ball style running back. But overall, like, the running back room is absolutely filthy. David, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I appreciate you. Please call again next time. I really appreciate your support, David. You've been calling since the beginning, man. So I really appreciate you. Salute out to you in Louisiana. I know you're behind enemy lines, man, so stay safe.
Yes, sir. You too. God bless everyone. God bless America.
God bless America. I love that. I'm a patriotic dude. I love it. So and it always reminds me too, like, if you're out there and you've served this great country, or if you're in the service right now, we really appreciate you. Like, freedom isn't free. We get that. So thank you very much to the men and women who are protecting this great country. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Alabama held its first practice today at Bryant-Denny Stadium Stadium. We have highlights to the right of practice number 8. If you're just joining us, is Tyler Buckner. Tyler Buckner right there hooking up with Kendrick Law. That would be a really nice combination during the season, in my opinion. Then you also have Jalen Miro, who's hooking up with Manuel Henderson. These are the running backs taking reps right here from Robert Gillespie. That was Chase McClellan. Good to see him healthy. Same with Roydell Williams. And then you have freshman phenom right there, number 22, Justice Haynes. Didn't see Richard Young. He is not number 27. That is Jonathan Bennett. And then number 41, I believe that is a walk-on as well. The offensive line, these guys are big. They're ferocious, and I think they still have to make a name for themselves. Matt J is asking for an update on Tony Mitchell. Look, Tony Mitchell is back involved in team activities, but when will Tony Mitchell be back with the actual team? We probably won't see Tony Mitchell for quite some time. This is kind of a thing that Saban is going to handle internally, considering everything that went on with Tony Mitchell, but he is back with the team. Back in school. He was never out of school, always taking classes and whatnot. So I think this is another thing that we just kind of let it take its course, but, still fully on the roster. And, maybe this will be something that we don't see maybe till the later part of the season, or, if he's on good behavior and he's, doing all of the right things, maybe we see him later on, or maybe not at all. Maybe we just have to wait to see him next season. I mean, the charges were pretty severe, so it's up to Saban to kind of play judge on that. And we'll just kind of bring you updates as we get them regarding Tony Mitchell. But I think that is a valid question when you look to this roster. If you missed it, Nick Saban said that Dio Jones-Bell, who's a wide receiver here at Alabama, had a medical issue. I don't think it's like anything like serious, but something to where I figure they might like gray shirt him or blue shirt, whatever they do. But I believe that they are schedule roster wise where they need to be, clearly, because it was the first day of practice. So that was kind of a nugget that Coach Saban provided earlier today on the press conference. You can watch the press conference in its entirety on our YouTube channel, Bama Football on YouTube. Get used to typing that in, Bama Football on YouTube. Bad Boy Cards, I appreciate the comment earlier about the show, man. Thank you so much for the support. Hey, Kyle, I really think Ty Simpson is the guy. Very well could be. I mean, absolutely throws a really good ball, really finesse. I think that's a guy who's a polished quarterback. Think about it. His dad is the head football coach at UT Martin. Think how many times those guys have just broken down film, understands the schematics of the game. He's had that high-level coaching. I like Ty Simpson even before he got to Alabama. I really liked his highlight tape. He didn't play against the best competition in Tennessee, but who cares? I mean, the guy certainly has escapability, throws a really good ball. And Tyler Buckner, I like him. Looks good today against Air, right? Everybody's going to look good because they're not doing much. We do have somewhat of a glorified practice on Saturday. We won't get any footage from that, unfortunately, but we will be up in the press box watching practice. And I don't think that's going to, that was a nice dart right there to Robbie Oots. I don't think that's going to give us any indication of who is going to be the quarterback. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. Call in and we'll take our next caller and we'll start right now. Hey, thanks so much for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, how you doing? I'm Mark Allen from New Jersey.
Mark Allen from New Jersey. I appreciate you calling in from New Jersey, man. What's takeaways from practice number 1, or any questions that you want to pose to me or the community?
Well, I just, we all know that last year the losses that we suffered and the games that were close had nothing to do with the offense. The defense kind of let it go. And I truly believe that this year's defense needs to bring back that boom. That the defenses of, the mid-2015, 2016s, Jonathan Allen-led defenses, the defenses that everybody else was afraid to face, because I've noticed something over the last few years. I don't know if anybody else has, but, around stadiums or in all the stadiums around the country, all you ever heard was, "We want Bama." Mm-hmm. Well, nobody's saying that anymore because they're not afraid to play us. Mm-hmm. And that has to change, man. I mean, if we're going to get anywhere, this defense has to step it up. They need to draw that line in the sand. That was me that sent that message to you. But they need to draw a line in the sand and say, no further. You're not getting past this point. They need to bring the boom. Just as simple as that. Nobody's afraid to play us, man. Mm-hmm. Not the big schools anyway.
I think this is a fantastic point. Because I strongly feel that people feel Alabama, for the first time since I've covered Alabama, that they feel they're a vulnerable team. I feel like, and you're right.
They are.
I think like Brian Kelly, what I straight up asked him at SEC Media Days is like, what does that win last year? Because last year doesn't matter to this year necessarily in terms of like what's going to happen. But from a mindset mentality, it does. Because he said, he was like, now our players know that we can play with Bama. We've beaten them before. And we can tell that to our recruits. And Texas A&M did it a couple seasons ago. So those guys think the same thing. Georgia thinks that they've completely separated themselves from Alabama, right? Even Tennessee, think about this. The last time that Tennessee beat Alabama was like a decade, more than that, right?
Exactly.
And now they beat Alabama, so they're even chomping at the bit, being like, we can beat them too. Arkansas has taken Alabama. They've played them very well. Sam Pittman's an amazing coach. Lane Kiffin probably feels the same way. So you're absolutely right. Like, we want Bama. Like, people are excited to play Bama because
You don't hear that anymore.
You don't. Mm-mm. Yeah.
You don't hear that. And people didn't really, those schools that, where you heard that, they didn't really want to face Alabama. They were afraid, but you don't hear that anymore. Nobody's chanting that. And you know what they're going to start chanting? We want Georgia.
Yeah.
And Georgia thinks they own us now.
Yeah, 100%.
And this pisses me off because nobody's afraid of us. Not the bigger schools, not Georgia, not Tennessee, not A&M, not, none of them. None of them.
Yeah.
And it just pisses me off.
And I got that.
I can't.
I got that
sorry,
vibe.
man. I've been a fan for like 45 years, and this is something I am not used to.
I got the same vibe at SEC Media Days. Honestly, it was like the first time that Alabama felt a little bit irrelevant. Like, Coach Saban is always going to get the respect because he still is the college commissioner of college football. But there was no, like, it wasn't all about Bama. And that's not a bad thing. Look, Bama laying in the weeds is great in terms of the rat poison. But you're right. Like, people feel that they can go toe to toe with the Alabama Crimson Tide. And that is not the standard. And that needs to be stopped immediately, not like from the jump, starting like right at the first game of the season. And this team, I think they do have the components to do that. But they got to go out and, like, again, this is rat poison because we're talking week 2. If you go out and you shut up Texas, who has a ton of momentum, right? At least on paper, they're favored to win the Big 12. They have that entire offense. Can you imagine if Alabama shuts down Texas in week 2? What that'll do? That will send shockwaves throughout college football.
That will be awesome. Nothing would please me more. Don't get me wrong. I have all the love and respect in the world for Sark. He's probably the best offensive mind in the country. But, they took us down to the wire. I mean, they by all rights, we should have lost that game last year.
Yep.
And I wish Sark all the success in the world, except for when he plays Alabama. We need to shut them down. We need to send a statement, put college football on notice. But we have not gone anywhere.
What do you think about this this quarterback situation? I mean, you're not Saban, so I could ask you about it.
Well, I'll tell you, I like the way Milroe runs, but he throws a lot of interceptions. Ty Simpson seems to be the most well-equipped. I don't know enough about Tyler Buckner to speak intelligently about his play. In fact, I've never seen him play, so I don't know. I've watched some highlight videos, but that's about the extent of it. So I can't really talk about him. But I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm waiting for Julian saying.
I had a caller, I think a couple nights ago, say the exact same thing.
Well, the kid looked really sharp, at the Elite 11. I'll tell you, and he took, Georgia's boy down a notch, which was nice to see. What's the kid's name? Dylan, or whatever his name is. Anyway.
Well, now he's the number one.
I'm thinking Ty Simpson, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like a 3-way tie at this point.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping that one of them, would separate themselves from the other two, but I guess we'll see in about a month's time.
I know we're going to be talking about this for
all right,
a long
look,
time.
I've taken up a lot of your time, and I'm sorry, so I'm probably keeping other people from talking to you. But
it's all good, man.
Listen, man,
call
we
me
got to
next
bring the
time.
boom.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I got to send you a little donation here, man, because I know you got to keep, making these videos and that, and I appreciate your time and your effort, because this stuff, takes effort. So,
Hell yeah.
But keep bringing us the information, man, and we'll keep watching.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for the
Roll
support.
Tide and God bless America.
Yeah, Roll Tide and God bless America is right, man. I love that. And we got some nice patriots on this show. So, yeah, this is the best country to live in. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Kyle Henderson coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. 205-850-1994 is the call-in line number. We got a caller in the queue. I'll get to you in just a second. And I think, like, Mark brings up a great point. Is our last caller calling in from New Jersey talking about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Like, you need that swagger back. And Alabama laying in the weeds right now is not a bad thing at all. Like, people are going to learn about this team sooner than later. Like, the quarterback, we're going to realize how much energy that we wasted on this quarterback position. But there's so many other positions on this team that are absolutely loaded. I strongly feel that the wide receiver play is going to be much better. You guys are confident in C.J. Dupree. Want to see how he performs before I really make an assessment. I mean, we just haven't seen him play yet. And just like Mark said, like, we've seen Tyler play a little bit, but not an incredible sample size. He has some opportunities to take over the job right now. Saban said he wants somebody to take over the reins. We want somebody to be that alpha in the quarterback room. And I think all these quarterbacks right now probably, enter as 1A, 1B, and 1C. So there's nothing wrong with a nice, healthy quarterback competition. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. I think Ja'Cory Brooks, who just caught that pass right there, is going to have another nice season. I think sometimes we sleep on him, which is unfortunate because he's been clutch. He came through. Remember that? Remember how he came through against Auburn? Yeah, you guys like that. And that is Kendrick Law down there. We'll take our next caller, and we'll start right now. We got a 508 and a 250, so just be patient. We'll get right to you. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where you calling in from?
My name is Nick, and I'm from Oklahoma. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, what's up, Nick? Thanks for calling in from Oklahoma, man. What's on your mind?
So, I like to I feel like it's always an overlooked topic with Alabama football, and it's something that I was very upset with last year, watching the games all year long and going to the Texas game, trying not to have a heart attack. But the big one for me that I think Alabama needs to see improvement is the penalties per game. Mm-hmm. We average, I think, 8.3 flags per game, mm-hmm. and we're ranked 129 last year. Mm-hmm. And that contributes to a lot of our issues to these close games. It hurts to say that, but that's where we, of course, we lost our little defensive edge, lost that, little bit of swagger like you were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, we got to really get back to being, playing disciplined ball, making sure we're not making, mental mistakes. We got to be really disciplined. That's kind of like my take for this year. What are we going to do to make sure we don't catch that, bad side of the ball, making sure we're actually, keeping our heads down and doing what we need to do.
Yeah, you're right. I like those mental lapses are something that just absolutely pisses Saban off probably the most, right? Like a bad question is probably something that really makes him mad. And then after that, it's like penalties. So these mental lapses, because they go through, like, I've gone to several Alabama practices throughout the years, and they do the exact same thing every single day. So I can't even imagine how frustrating it must be for him to see a mental lapse because they're doing the same thing all the time and they're getting so many opportunities to perfect their craft. And you're right, there has been so many penalties. This last year probably seemed, like an incredible amount of penalties. We'll have to bring that up on the stats. I'm going to look that up, Nick, and kind of go over that because I think you bring up a really great point in terms of the mental lapses. What else is on your mind?
And, and the big thing, especially Tennessee game, we go back to the Tennessee game, we had 17 penalties, and I believe that was the record in the SEC.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
In my opinion. But, I mean, I've been doing, like, a lot of research, kind of digging into this stuff, because I'm like, okay, where does the work need to be at? Now, was this, maybe some inside issues within the locker room, maybe, people didn't want to be there at Alabama, maybe, transfer portal, trying to transfer out. Trying to get those negative Nancy's out of there, trying to be a positive football team and go with a strong season. Mm-hmm. One thing I do like is that Kevin Steele definitely seems like he's bringing back that really aggressive mindset, bringing back some, a lot of people call it murder ball, and I'm really loving that. I'm a big defensive guy, and I love seeing defensive games, and Georgia's been kind of taking it over, unfortunately. I'm ready for this year to start. It's going to be a great season. I think definitely for the Alabama boys. And then go back to the quarterback situation. And a lot of people, I may catch a little bit of slack for this. There's a reason why Tommy Rees and Nick Saban brought Tyler Buchner in. I believe Tyler Buchner is going to end up starting the Texas game. The only reason why is because I feel like Tommy Rees has a really comfortable understanding with Tyler Buchner and knowing that offense already, being able to come in and kind of, really create the competition for Jalen Milroe and definitely Ty Simpson. Jalen Milroe has that really good communication with his teammates. He's been doing a really great job. I think Tyler Buchner has the edge right now, not for the sake of he may be the better quarterback, just because of what he is with Tommy Rees coming from Notre Dame. But I think but my heart really wants Jalen Milroe to go out there and prove everyone wrong. But my gut's leaning towards Tyler Buchner actually coming and stepping in, like, hey, I'm here. Like, I come here to sit on the bench. I came here to play.
We have a stat provided by David in reference to your penalties. I'll read it out. The 2022 season, Alabama averaged 7.9 penalties per game. The Crimson Tide's 103 penalties cost it 893 yards in a penalty deficit of its 13 opponents of 230 yards. Thanks, David. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's
that the pressure kills you. I mean, it kills the game for you.
Yeah,
you can't shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I think look, when we talk about Tyler Buchner, that very well could be the case. I mean, tonight Coach Saban was asked about Tyler Buchner. And Coach Saban said, he was asked in terms of what he liked about him. And he said that Tommy Rees knew him, clearly. Anyone that you coach, you're going to know, their tendencies, what their strong suit is, right, where they need to work on things. And you're right. And if people don't feel that that's an inside track, they're wrong. Like, he does. He has more continuity with the Alabama offensive coordinator than Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. I get it. Tommy Rees was here during the springtime, but these guys have been together for quite some time. So it's up to Buchner to prove his worth to the team. I don't buy that, like, you got to win the locker room, because I honestly feel that these guys are going to play for whoever. It doesn't matter. Like, hearing from J.C. Latham and Kool-Aid, and when these guys were asked about the quarterback competition, look, these guys want to win a national championship, and whoever's the best player, they'll know. I love that when Saban said that. He's like, the best players know who the team knows who the best players are, 100%. And if you play competitive sports, when you're the best player, and when somebody else is, 100%. And so I think the quarterbacks, I mean, people are like, yeah, Saban knows who's going to be the quarterback. I don't think he does. I think he's going to let it develop and let that cake bake. What else you got, Nick, before I let you go, man?
I think that'll be it for the evening. I hope everyone has a great rest of the evening. Stay safe, and Roll Tide. Roll
Tide to you, buddy. Thanks for calling in. That was Nick out in Oklahoma. Before that, it was Mark. Mark became a member. We appreciate you, Mark. To become a member of the YouTube channel, hit the thumbs up or hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. What's up, Sean? See you way down here in Huntsville. Appreciate you checking in, man. Thanks for all your support. You did a fantastic job on Monday night. You and Jarek from Buffalo had a fantastic show. I appreciate it. Getting the fans intertwined into the YouTube channel right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Close to 90,000 subscribers. Let's keep it going. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys being here more than you know. 205-850-1994 is the call number, and we'll take our 205 starting right now. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Charles from Birmingham, Alabama. How you doing, Kyle?
Hey, what's up, man? Good evening. I appreciate you calling in, man. Before we get going, man, what was for dinner, man?
Oh, for dinner? I'm still at work, man. I ain't have my Chinese tonight. I used to order Chinese.
Yeah, I got you, man. You working, so am I, man. So let's chop it up about Alabama football real quick. What's on your mind, man? Where you want to take the show?
Oh yeah, man. About the Alabama defense, man. The new hashtag phrase is prisoners of war. Whoop that ass on Saturdays. Forgive me for my language. That's all I wanted to see.
Yeah.
The Legion of Boom. Yeah, the Legion of Boom. No, it's not the Legion of Boom. It's the Legion of War. It's war games this year. Nothing but dead bodies and closed caskets. That's all I want to see from for the defense. What you say about that, man?
Don't you love? I love it. I love the phrase that has been coming up. Where has this been? The joyless murder ball. Who came up with that? Does anybody know inside the comment box? Because I love that.
I've never heard of that.
But that is like
I've never heard of that.
Right? Like
Yeah,
that's what we want. Like, give me more of that. Like, we want the joyless murder ball. We want it to be a simplistic, hard-hitting defense that does one thing: put fear in the opposition. We want guys like that. You know what we're living off of? We're living off, like, it was so exciting for fans when Jake Pope buried Jermaine Burton. That's what we want.
Oh, yeah,
again and again and again. Right? Like, that's the type of physicality that we want. We can't lose sight of Jake Pope, by the way. Like that, right? Like that was baller.
Yeah. That was balling, man. I like Jake Pope, man. Jake Pope put me in mind of John Lynch, the old Buccaneers.
Oh yeah, who was that? That was murder. That was murder ball.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. But yeah, man. Just we just need an old blood, sweat, and tears murder ball back on the field, man. Yeah. Just put the fear of God back in people. I feel like these past few years we got away from away from the identity that built Alabama way back in 2009. Where we stood on. I feel like the defense should be the leader going to every Saturday in the offensive line. I feel like those are the two units that have to kind of step up every week and just bring the pain. You know what I'm saying? The offensive line and the defense has to be the leaders. If this team is going to go the whole way. I feel like those two units.
And you know what? You bring up a great point, because when the offensive line, when they have a strong center who's kind of that alpha, this offense does so much better. Think about this. Remember how confident you were in the offensive line when Landon Dickerson was carrying the weight, right? Like, that's the type of dog that you need. Like, Landon Dickerson was the ultimate center for Alabama. And before that was Bradley Bozeman. And then I think it was like Ross Pierce-Baker. Those guys were serviceable for sure. But like, Landon Dickerson was must have been a coach's dream. He's still doing amazing things. He played for the Eagles right now, right?
Eagles, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love Landon Dickerson, man. Yeah, I feel like Landon Dickerson, he has more personality than most of the skill guys. I mean, that guy can make some money in NFL doing commercials, man. He has a real good personality. But Kyle, I just feel like the offensive line and the defense have to be the alpha dogs going to every game week. They got to set the tone for the whole team. Those are the two. Those are the two units that got to get it done.
Yes.
Yeah. And for about the quarterback situation, I feel like the quarterback situation is going to come down to this. It's a key phrase that people don't use. It's going to be opportunistic passing. Who is the most opportunistic passer when their number is called? Because every game, you're not going to be able to run for 100 yards. Because certain teams are going to come down. They're going to shut down the passing lanes, and they're going to dare you to pass the ball. So I feel like whichever quarterback is the most opportunistic passer with consistency, that's the one that's going to really lead the team down the long run. Opportunistic passing. That's all it is. Opportunistic passing.
Well, thanks so much for calling in, Charles. I really appreciate it, man. Call in anytime. I got a spot for you at the table, man. You have a blessed evening. I appreciate you putting in the work, taking 5 minutes out of your time to call into the Bama Football Show, and, Roll Tide to you, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Yeah, yes, sir. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, man. Calling in on work, man. I appreciate it. Everybody's putting in work. Want to get to this comment real quick by Carl Taylor. What's up, Carl? I see you inside the comment box. Thank you very much for joining the show. I appreciate it. You guys are sleeping on Jalen Milroe for real. Look, that could very well be the case. I think last year when Jalen Milroe came in and was serviceable against Arkansas, look, they won that game. I get it. Jahmyr Gibbs really turned it up in that game, but I asked Jimbo Fisher about preparing for Jalen Milroe. He said it was very difficult. Can you imagine preparing for a guy? I mean, look at Jalen Milroe. I mean, this guy, what is he? What, 6'2"? I have the roster right here. I forget what they have him listed at. Here we go. Let me just bring it up. Their official website says that Milroe is like, what is he? Sorry, guys. I'm looking for it right now. 6'2", 225 pounds. That's what he's listed at. So, I mean, what is he like running like a 4.4 or something like that? Like he's a mess to prepare for. Can you imagine being a defensive coordinator and try to prepare for Jalen Milroe? I get it. Like, you know, we're all fixated on some of the turnovers and stuff like that, but preparing for him is a nightmare if you're a defensive coordinator. So I understand, Carl, your frustration on we're sleeping on Jalen Milroe. And I think when I was actually walking out of the media room today, I walked right past Jalen Milroe. The dude is every bit of 225 and more. So we'll get to our next caller right now. It's a 256, and we'll start right now. 770 and 706. You're in the queue. Hang tight. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where you calling in from?
Oh, my name Danny, calling from Tuscaloosa, man.
Is it Danny?
Yeah, Danny. Yeah.
What's up, Danny? I appreciate you, man. Hope you had a strong day. Thank you for carving out some time to call into the show, man. What's on your mind?
I had a good day, man. You know, listen to people and stuff, keep talking about, you know, nobody's scared of Alabama and everything. Okay. They can say that, but I guarantee Georgia, LSU fans, Tennessee fans don't want to play Alabama right now, especially when all of that crap talking about the dynasty is over. You know, Saban is old. He's this and that. It's just giving that man just more fuel for the fire. Like, they just don't know. We've heard this like 100 times. He have proven people wrong. And when he loses, and then he wins, he gets his lick back. The game is like 100 times worse than the other team beat him by. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, when LSU beat us in 2019, 2020, I was telling LSU fans, they were talking all that crap. They got smoked. Bama could have easily put 70 on them. And then I'm telling Georgia fans, like, you guys is talking so much. You beat Alabama one time in like 14 years. And I said, if Alabama beats y'all, it's going to be bad. They just don't understand. I know Nick Saban. I've been watching them for a long time. I see my team win and lose. Like, I'm used to it.
David in the comment box is disagreeing. He's saying that LSU and Georgia aren't scared to play Alabama anymore. Look, I think
they can say that. I mean, they can say that.
Yeah, like,
I've been watching my team for a long time.
But I think, like, look, the thing about it is, like, playing Nick Saban makes you nervous. And like, this is what I'm so excited about. For the first time, I get to cover Alabama team that's not getting this like preseason notoriety and all this stuff. I love it because Saban must be that's probably why he's in a good mood. Because he has plenty, like, okay, Nick Saban, he likes more than Little Debbie's is rat poison, right? He loves it.
When he's smiling.
Yeah, because I guarantee you,
they saying he old.
100%, and he's showing that to his team, and he's like, look, they don't believe in you. Work harder. LSU isn't scared to play you. Work harder. Georgia's won the last 2 championships. Work harder. So that is fuel for the fire, rather than like all the other time Alabama's been on top. You're the preseason #1 player start. Because look, players are listening to this. Players are reading the headlines. How can you not? Everybody's on their stupid phone all the time. But now people are like, we don't believe you. We don't believe in you. You're soft. You're vulnerable. So I get where you're coming from, man. What else is on your mind?
You know, about the offense, like, I don't care who's at quarterback, to be honest. Like, I just want to see us run the ball more. Last year, we felt like an air raid offense. Like, the play calling that Bill was doing, I just didn't understand. Like, he called shotgun plays in the 1st and goal, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, are we scared to run the ball? Like, what are y'all doing? I just feel like we was like an air raid. I want to see the old offense when Lane Kiffin was there, how Alabama did more jet motion with the pistol, running in the middle, outside, and putting the pressure off of quarterbacks.
I love that. I love that. And honestly, and I'm not just saying that because he's kind of like new and he's here. I watched Notre Dame because you know why I watched Notre Dame? Because I played DraftKings and I was trying to load up on, you know, Notre Dame players because I knew that Tommy Rees was able to get multiple players points. Points meaning touches, meaning get different guys within the end zone. So whether like Bill O'Brien's offense, I felt was so vanilla, and I get it. A lot of it was just like, hey, we got Bryce Young, and you know, we're kind of going to go out and do this with some average wide receivers. No, we don't need that. These wide receivers are very talented. I think the running back room, as Nick Saban continues to say, is absolutely loaded. So there's so many different weapons, and you guys are excited about the tight end room. So, you know, it's going to be up to these quarterbacks and this game plan from Tommy Rees. And I get it. It's Alabama's offense with the Tommy Rees approach. But look, there's plenty of guys to get the football to, and I think you can certainly distribute it out. Get one more thought in before I move to my next caller, man.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to say, man. You have a good night, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Call in anytime. I really appreciate you calling in. I appreciate the support.
Oh, no problem. I always support y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Danny calling in, so I appreciate it, man. We got a 770 and a 706 inside the queue. I'll get to you in just a second. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, 205-850-1994. Every single thing that you see on this YouTube channel, from the thumbnails to the titles to the videos, I do everything. So I appreciate you guys' support. This is what I do to feed my 14-year-old son, Caden, who's going to be a freshman on Wednesday, and Lacey, who is going to be 10 and a fifth grader on Wednesday as well. So I appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much for following me, for supporting the channel. And look, I listen to every single thing that you guys say inside the comment box. You guys are pissed about the audio. So am I. I'm on it. Today I was running around town to make sure that you guys have every single thing you need, because you guys deserve the best when it comes to Bama football. That's the standard. So I will continue to set that bar high. My plan to you and my goal is to be consistent within the content that we are providing here on the YouTube channel. That is my pledge to you. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and we will move to our next caller, which is a 770, and we'll start that right now. Hey, thanks for calling. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Hey.
Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Joshua. I'm calling from Columbus, Georgia.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for calling in from enemy lines, man. I appreciate you.
How you doing?
Good. What was your name again?
Joshua.
Okay. All right, Josh, go ahead, man. It's your show. Take it away.
I just want to say this. We just, as Alabama fans, man, we got to calm down. We had Jalen Milroe running Bryce Young's offense. Of course he's not going to look good. If we take away the 2 fumbles he had, he played okay. He played basically as a true freshman. I think with the running ability, anytime you put trust into a quarterback, he's going to believe in himself more. We got all the weapons around him. If we just trust in them, allow them to develop a little bit more, I think we're going to be fine. It's not the first time that we done had quarterbacks not perform well in spring practice. Tua didn't look good in spring practice. Mac Jones didn't look good in spring practice. Now as the season went on and we got into fall camp, we started to hear more and more about Tua, but he didn't play until the championship game. So I just think we gotta trust what we got around him. I think we're gonna have a good offensive line. I think the linebacker core is going to be crazy. And I think with Caleb Downs and putting Malachi Moore back there as safety, I think we're going to be straight.
I love the addition, and I love that you mentioned Malachi Moore. I think he's someone sometimes we forget about. We're so excited to talk about Caleb Downs, and rightfully so, because the young man certainly looks the part. But Malachi Moore, I think, you know, we've seen spurts of him, like when he was a young cat, right? Like people were comparing him, if you forget, to Minkah Fitzpatrick, right? They were calling him Mini Mink. And then he got passed up by Brian Branch, which how could you not? Brian Branch was balling out of control. He was everywhere some games. And now you have Malachi Moore, who has a ton of experience. You have Caleb Downs, who's coming in. I think is going to play a significant role. I think those corners are going to shake out. Are you not excited about this secondary? I know I am. I don't think we got any footage today of Jalen Key, but I mean, look, that secondary, it seems like we're always like better than last year at certain positions, but don't you feel like, I still haven't really seen him play, but sometimes I felt DeMarco Hellams lacked speed. Now that boy could bring the boom 1,000,000%. Like, but I felt he was slow. Did you feel that way sometimes?
He definitely was slow. definitely was slow, but I definitely felt that he brought that, like you said, he brought that boom, and
Yeah.
we needed that. But I feel like I think we're gonna have a more versatile secondary. I like Terry Arnold
Yes.
here too, because I think what a lot of people don't realize is he wasn't beat on a lot of plays. A lot of plays he was there. He just wasn't in the right position. And we got to remember he was playing safety in high school. That was his first year playing cornerback. So I think if we give him time, I think this year he's gonna be real good. I think Kool-Aid got the other side locked down. Kool-Aid gonna do his thing. And I'm excited about the freshman that we brought in, Rick. I think he's gonna be real. I've seen a lot of good potential in him in spring ball too.
One thing that I noticed, and I was kind of running through this defensive back footage, is the fact that these corners look big. It looks like they put on some good weight. Like Terrion looks thicker, and Kool-Aid absolutely looks thick. So you have those two dudes on the outside, and then really haven't got a good look at Trey Amos just yet. But in terms of adding on good weight, like Kool-Aid, I honestly feel that this guy is a first-round draft pick. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. I think NFL draft analysts have him probably as the top corner on the board, if not, one of the top ones, along with the guy from Georgia, and rightfully so. I mean, those guys are absolute ballers. But Terran Arnold, I mean, man, he looks good, and it was good to see some footage of him today. What else is on your mind when you look to this 2023 squad?
I'm just excited to see what the D-line gonna do. Those the big three guys, Jaheim Otis, Tim Smith. I know we got the young man. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but the guy we got back from the neck injury.
Justin Ebogbe.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we got to get a little bit more penetration. I see Tim Smith. He flashes a lot, but it's not consistent as we've had it in the past. And I think if he puts it together, like most times they do, most times we had those defensive linemen that pop that fourth year. They just kind of turn it on, you know what I'm saying? It don't be unexpectedly because we done seen it before, but it's on a more consistent matter. I think if we good right there, I think with the linebacker core they've got, especially on the outside linebackers. Now, as far as Braswell, I definitely think he's gonna start, but I'm excited to see what Yonze Pierre do, Keon Keeley, and I think we need to move Quay Russo inside, because the one thing I think we misunderstand about Alabama defense, especially with their inside linebacker, Dante Hightower, Rolando McClain, C.J. Mosley, all those dudes was big guys that filled the gap.
Mm-hmm.
They did call the defense, but they also filled the gap. And I think, like, I love Deontay Lawson, but I like what's the young man from Duncanville? I think him and Jahad Campbell. I think we need guys that's gonna come downhill and fill it out. And I like the guy from the linebacker from the JUCO school.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to play like a special role.
Justin Jefferson.
Somewhere where he's on the field, where he's guarding the tight end. Because like when I was watching spring ball, he flashed the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time. Every time he was out there, I know people were saying he's small, but it's something about a dude who has a knack to get to the ball. And not only get to the ball, but he finishes violently.
I like to talk about the inside linebacker play, and talking about Justin Jefferson, who came over, and Coach Saban was asked about him today as well. And Jahad Campbell, I saw there's a video out with Jahad Campbell and Chris Braswell, and they're talking. It's like a podcast for him. I'm sure you guys saw that come across your guys' feed. Yo, those dudes look gigantic, and it's good. Like Jahad Campbell I think that he's on the verge of a breakout season. So he would be a guy to be like on my sleeper list going into this year. I think he's going to get some good playing time. Can't wait to see kind of the immersion of some of these inside linebackers, because look, Deontay Lawson, Saban mentioned his name today. But other than that, you need some guys to really step up. People felt, different ways about Henry Toto, but he's a multi-year starter at the University of Alabama. Get one more thought in before I move to my next caller, man.
Man, that's all I have for you tonight, Kyle. I really appreciate you. Roll Tide, and God bless America.
Yeah, God bless America is right, man. I appreciate you too, and roll tide to you. All right, that was a good call out of Georgia. Enemy lines. That was Joshua. We appreciate you. Got a 706 and a 205 in the queue. Hang tight, 706. I appreciate you being patient. Get to you in just 1 second. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, following Alabama's first practice of the season going into the 2023 season. Alabama laying in the weeds, right? Nick Saban in a very good mood. Go watch that press conference right on our YouTube channel, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the join button at the bottom of this video to become a member. You can also throw a super chat. Super chat is kind of like a tip for the host. Everything is appreciated right here, especially just a thumbs up. Just hit the thumbs up on this video. Appreciate you guys. And with that, we will go to our next caller at 706. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thank you very much for being patient. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is David from Maryland.
David from Maryland. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, David. Take it away, man. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about that offensive line. I think that offensive line going to be okay. I believe if they have Darren Delacourt as one of the guards, he needs to get nasty. He's been playing too finesse for me. And I know when he was up here in the part of Maryland where I'm at now, he needs to get nasty. Because if he don't, I think this might be his last year. He might be a 6th or maybe 7th round pick, and he don't want to end up like that. He need to play nasty. I think Bill O'Brien, he was not college material coach. And I noticed, like, in the past seasons, the great coaches that we had, offensive coordinators, they were out on the field calling the plays, while Bill O'Brien sat up in the press box. That was the wrong place for him to be. He should have been out there on the field. Then for the defense, I think the defense need to be like that 2016 defense. I remember they said that they had a stat where the defense would collapse the pocket within 3.5 to 4 seconds on the quarterback. That's about the amount of time they had. Well, that's how that defense needs to be this year. If they send 4 instead of 3 like Pete Golden sent last year, Pete Golden was just too complex, and I'm glad he's no longer there. He can go mess up the defense for Ole Miss. But I think that with what we have right now for backfield and linebackers, them boys going to be okay. We just need to get more pressure from that D-line coming in on that on the offense. And for that offensive line, they need to just get nasty and do what they got to do.
David, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the super chat from Mark. I got 2 kids, Mark, by the way, 2 kids, but still the public's over here. Like, you can't go in there without spending like $60. Thumbs down for public grocery prices. David, I think you bring up a great point on Darren Delacourt. Look, you're going to be in the trenches. You got to be absolutely nasty. And that's the one thing that, like, earlier when we were talking about the play of Landon Dickerson, he was nasty. And when you look to players, and I get it, there's a size comparison difference between Evan Neal and Darren Delacourt, but you gotta come with it in the interior when you're on the offensive line. And there's some young guys. I don't know if they're ready, if they're mature enough yet to play, but that they should be ready. I mean, like a guy like Terrence Ferguson or some of these younger guys that are chomping at the bit for playing time as well. I think they're going to give Darren Delacourt an opportunity to play and be at that guard spot. But you're absolutely 100%. I think that he's certainly got to get nasty. He's got to really take on that role, and he's got to come with it this year because this offensive line needs to take a step forward. I think Eric Wolford is the guy that you want as your offensive line coach. And I'm curious to see if Darren Delacourt can retain that position. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some mix up going into this year. I think there's some guys that are probably a little bit more talented, don't have the experience, but I think there's more talent behind him. And then regarding Pete Golding, I think you're 100% accurate. Like when I was watching the linebackers, when people would when he was coaching the interior linebackers, the guys look lost. Like, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated when you're a linebacker, right? Your assignments don't have to be overly complex. These guys are super athletes at the University of Alabama. And, let's put a hat on the football and, let's keep it. I'm not saying that these guys aren't intelligent by any means, but the defense doesn't have to be overly complex. Like, put your head on the hat and, get the job done. What else you got for me, David?
Yeah, and one thing, I say Henry To'oTo'o was a finesse player, and he was smart in trying to call plays, but he was not the right fit, the nasty that we needed at that position.
Yeah, he was also finesse,
and that is what hurt us. And then I think with Bill O'Brien not being the appropriate coach for Alabama as an offensive coordinator, has weakened the line and had the line playing more finesse instead of that nasty dog-style offensive line that pushed people back and drives them in the dirt.
Yeah. What else you got, David, before we move on to the next caller, man? It's been a good call, by the way. I really appreciate it. So save the number and definitely call in again. You got any thoughts on the quarterback position or Kevin Steele as defensive coordinator? Any thoughts on the secondary, outside linebacker push?
Well, yeah, I think with the quarterbacks, I think they're going to be okay, because I think that Reese is going to have a game plan that's going to fit their strengths and make them win, help them win. So whoever comes out there, Jalen Milroe, and I've been looking at some of his throws look like they've gotten better. And with him, what he did over the summer, taking some of the receivers out there with him, and working with them, I think that's gonna show during the fall practices and stuff. And I think, any of them I will have confidence in them playing, but I think with the quarterback play, it's probably going to be perhaps Jalen Milroe, maybe Buckner, then come Ty Simpson in that order.
Man, everybody is so different when we're talking about the quarterbacks. It's hilarious. Yeah, and it's just the fact that, Ty Simpson probably just need a good year under his belt, and then he's going to be okay. But then, he's going to have to deal with Sands when he gets in. And that ain't going to be – he's probably going to end up transferring, going to another school, because he ain't going to beat Sands. Oh. Man, yeah, he completely balled out. Well, David, I appreciate the call. Thanks for being thanks for being patient. Thanks for the call from Maryland. I love the point on Darren Dalcourt. And save the number and please call again next time.
All right, thank you. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you. All right, we 205 inside of the call queue. Hang tight. I'll be with you in just a second. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Have some super chats to thank. Thanks again, Mark, for becoming a member tonight to our YouTube channel. Hit the join button to become a member to support this YouTube channel. YouTube channel is all done by me, yours truly right here. And then Bad Boy Cards, also a member of our YouTube channel, throwing in $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I think there was a $2 super chat earlier as well. Jonathan, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. What's good, man? We made it. 2023 is here. D Sports is saying Proctor is a plug and should play at left tackle. 100% agree. J Sports Cards is saying Proctor to right tackle and move Latham to left tackle. I like that. Sports Cards is also saying I think Buckner is out. I'm guessing. I don't know what that means. Can you clarify that, J Sports Card? I appreciate that. And then Kevin Smith inside the comment box is saying, remember Blake Barnett, every 5-star doesn't always rise up. That is absolutely true. We will take our next caller. Is a 205. I appreciate you being patient. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? This is Matt from the Ham, my man.
Matt from the Ham. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, man. Remember the last time you called in, I was like, the Ham, man. So everything good with you, first of all?
Yeah, bro. I meant to bring this up last time, but you said you were from Santa Fe?
I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yep, that's my hometown. Yeah.
My man, I played a little, it was independent ball at the time.
Yeah.
It was when I was really starting out, like, with the grind of independent baseball after college, and I was in Santa Fe, man. We were the Santa Fe Fuego, man.
No way, you played for
It was the funnest experience I ever had.
You played for the Fuego, so you played at Fort Marcy Park.
Bro, they just came out with the top 10 Fuegos of, like, I'm number 9.
No way.
I'm number 9 in the top 10 Fuegos. My only pet peeve, the thing that got me was the strikeouts, my man.
Yeah, well,
So I could hit and I could steal and I was good defensively, but strikeouts got me. But it was fun.
But you guys played at Fort Marcy Park, right?
Fort Marcy, baby, the Mars.
Yeah, and you had
right center was my baby.
And you had
right center was my baby.
And to left field, you had a fire station, right?
Yes, it sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did. And sometimes they'd be out there grilling and stuff during the game.
Yeah, and you got in right field is a short porch with like a high fence. I got you, man. I played there. Come on, man. I played every single sport.
The adult. They play the adult leagues there for sure, man. I always came out and watched and hung out and tried to meet the people.
All right,
there.
so
it was fun out there.
Alabama has its first practice, man. What you want to talk about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I just want to touch on the quarterback situation. A lot of the callers and the offensive line, like we keep kind of going back to that as far as, the position groups we're excited about, man. And I think because of that, because of the maulers that we have up there, I think that's, I think that's perfect for Milroe, man. With that offensive line, it's tailor-made for him. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we could use 2 this year. Now, just because that offensive line with Milroe, and Milroe's probably the best runner. He could be the best runner on the team, man. So, like, with him, we need to use that, man. We need to use that, and at least give him the first game to start, but I just think it's tailor-made for him. But I think Ty Simpson, I think we brought in Buckner just to push Ty Simpson. I think Buckner, he's had some turnover, but he's familiar with Reese, which would help. He could help relate to Ty better, along with Reese. But this is kind of how he likes it. This is what you're seeing. This is what they're giving you. At least he can. I think it could help the quarterback room in general as well. But I think we could use 2, man. Just the simple fact that I think Milroe's too good to leave off the field, just like I think Jihad Campbell's too good to leave off the field. But Keeley's too good. We got some dudes that are too good to be off the field, our intangible this year. Our intangible is our competition, is our youth. The fact that we don't have any high profile guys. That's our intangible. That year Georgia went undefeated, quote unquote, when they played us in the SEC championship. And, we don't need to say what happened, but but they were saying that was the year that particular defense, they were all no names because that year before Roquan, all them dudes got drafted. And so they were thinking, they kind of rallied around that as well. And I think that's what we can do this year. And, I'm kind of rambling, but I really think, just coming back to the quarterback, I think there's a way we could utilize 2, kind of with Jalen and Tua, and still throw people off. I still think we can. I just think Milroe's too. I just think we're going to need him, man. I think we could need him. We put Milroe in there in a random situation, that'll freak some people out. If Simpson's going the whole game, we put Milroe in there. That's what Jalen scared the heck out of them boys. When we put him in the second, they didn't know what to do when Jalen came back. When we brought him in and he won us the game. So I don't know. I think our team is deep, and that's obviously going to help us. But, down the stretch, but I think we got something good in the quarterback room, and it's not just one person. And I think we have, some breakout dudes. We got some dudes that are too good to keep off the field. Obviously, Downs, we hit on the secondary. I really like that group. And, with some of these transfers coming in from the secondary, that's just going to bolster spring practice, man. That's going to make it more competitive. This transfer's coming in, heck no, man. You ain't getting this spot. You know, transfer is different than a recruit. Recruit, you kind of know they're not going to start. Transfer comes in, so it's going to be heated. That's what we want. You know, we want it to be heated. And also what we want to be heated, for the love of God, is our fans.
Yes.
For our home games.
Yes.
Man, because I saw that the other day, bro.
Yep.
Where you came out and posted that Texas coach comparing us to Kansas. That boy is out of his mind. They were visceral to us, man. They were visceral. They were throwing bottles at Jahmyr Gibbs when we were backed up in the end zone on the field in the live game. That was a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, they had the AC. They messed with our AC at halftime. You know, I'm not saying we do that. We could be better than that. But we need to give in. Let's go back to, let's bring that energy, other fans don't even want to come to the stadium. That's I don't, for the love of God, you know, can we please put the fear of God into people? Just Caller hit on it. Caller hit on it earlier. You know, can we not, I want people to be scared for their life. I'm not even kidding, man. You know, not that they would be. I just want, when they're coming out of the tunnel, I want them to want to think about going back in that summer, you know, because the fan, that's a big part, man. Big home games this year, huge home games. We need to be loud. We got to play. This is, you know, like that 2015 year, you know, dead and buried and gone. We've got to help our team out. You know, other teams hate us, man. When we go on the road, they hate us, man. They hate us. I'm not saying we give hate, but let's give them something. You know, let's give them something, man. They give us crap. We know we're going to win at home, so we're less inclined to be. But you know, this year, no holds barred, man.
No, I think Matt, I think you bring up a great point when you're talking about the fans kind of taking over and making this atmosphere extremely difficult to play at, because Bryant-Denny Stadium at times, and I felt this way, there's, you know, you get on your feet a little bit, but a lot of it is because, look, Alabama fans have been so accustomed to winning that they can sit down and they can kind of enjoy the show because they know that these 5 stars and Coach Saban is going to do their thing. Look, we've talked about it before. People think that they can come in and play with Alabama, that it's like Kansas, that it's like Iowa State. Jeff Banks, you know, adding some more rat poison. That's why Saban's so happy. Matt, I got to move to my last call of the show, man, but I really appreciate you calling in. I'm glad you've been to Santa Fe. Call back again, man. I got room at the table for you, and you enjoy this Thursday night.
10-4, brother. Thanks for taking the call. I'll be calling in more times.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right, Matt calling in from the Ham, which is AKA Birmingham. It's our last caller of the night at 334. We'll take it right now. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Wesley. I'm from Kinston, Alabama.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, Wesley. I appreciate you calling in, man. Good to hear from you. It's your show, man. What do you want to talk about?
So I saw today where Ferguson's actually taking that other guard spot opposite of Booker, and I like the way that sounded, that looked. I've been waiting for Ferguson to pop out, and I feel like that we're going to be a running road grading team this year, and I feel like he's going to help us more. I don't know. I've always been. I like Darian Dalcourt, but I just don't know that. I don't know that he's got it. I don't feel that other teams fear him
100%
like they should. I feel like you get Ferguson in there, and I've always just looked at Ferguson like he's just a road grader.
Yes.
And that he's a run blocker. And I feel like he's going to fit our play style and our system more than Darian Dalcourt. I wish Darian Dalcourt the best, but I don't see him being the guy this year. And I feel like McLaughlin's locked up the center spot for sure.
Yeah.
They're trying Dalcourt hard, then they already have put McLaughlin in it at center. I hate to take him out of that spot, but I don't see him getting it.
I think you bring up a great point, kind of going back to David's point from Maryland, who called a couple callers ago. Just like that nastiness from Dalcourt, I don't think he necessarily had it. And I think to your point, I don't think people really fear him. I think Ferguson gets in there and he looks nasty. I remember when he came in and watching his high school film, I was like, the dude was a road grader. Tons of athleticism on that young man. I'm surprised he didn't play more last year. Just considering, I have no idea what was going on, kind of in the back room or whatever, but I'm glad to see him kind of peaking out because I think he could be really impactful for that offensive line. Sounds like it's kind of coming together, and we're, look, this is the first practice. Things are going to change, but you want that offensive line to be able to pave the way for the best running back group in the entire country. I mean, Nick Saban said it today that there's no holes within that running back room. I know we didn't get an opportunity to see Richard Young today, but I mean, from top to bottom, this is the best running back room in the entire country. Got to have those road graders out front to do their thing. What else you got, Wes?
And I also feel like that, and I know that it was a spring game, but I feel like Proctor is definitely should be the starter. I don't have much trust in Pridgett, even though he looked okay, and yeah, he's going against the first team. But I just see so much. I just feel like you could put Proctor on an NFL left tackle and give him somebody else's jersey, and we wouldn't know different. Like I don't see where he's going to have any kind of drop off. I feel like he could be. He's definitely going to be on the all freshman for the SEC. Could be for the country, and then when you get to, I don't know, man. He's almost as good right now, and I hate to say this, and this is bold, and I don't make bold statements, but he's almost as good right now as the other tackle. And I'm losing my. I'm in bed. I'm almost asleep. But
you're talking about Evan Neal or J.C. Latham?
J.C. Latham. I mean, I feel like you put them up against each other however you would one-on-one. I feel like he beats J.C. Latham out right now.
He very well could, which is crazy because J.C. Latham was the only I'm close to bedtime too, man. But I think, you bring up a really good point. I think Alabama doesn't have a problem at tackle.
No, definitely not. And I don't feel like we're gonna. I feel like, so I listen to Josh Pate a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to you. I listen to Josh Pate. I put Josh Pate over Paul Feinbaum. He's one of my.
The things that Pate has done, they're amazing. No, good for him. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. But now, he said he made the bold statement that we're going to lead the league in rushing, and I feel like we could. That's definitely not. I don't even think it's bold. I'm really excited about our offensive line and our play calling this year.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it pans out. And no injuries. That's my biggest thing. It's always happened to us where it's just one injury away from.
Oh man, there was that year where there was like every single inside linebacker was banged up, right? It was like one thing after another. It was just like, my goodness.
If it wasn't that year,
jeez.
If it wasn't that year, it was every running back got hurt one year, and here we are with a limping Brian Robinson at the end of the year.
Man, some of those guys are soldiers, man. The way because it's a gauntlet of a season. That's why there's not a problem with having good depth. Like there's that back end stretch that Alabama has where they play those 4 teams back to back to back. I think there is a bye week in there, but it's a challenging schedule that Alabama has. You have Texas, Big 12 winner. You have Middle Tennessee. And then that South Florida game. But then after that, like that back end season is a gauntlet for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And then you have that one warm up game, and then you have Auburn on the road. The Iron Bowl's down in Auburn this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Justice Haynes, I feel like having him, even if he doesn't play first or second quarter, which I feel like he's going to be a rotational guy. Like Saban said, there's 4 guys that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like third and fourth quarter, you got a fresh Justice Haynes with our offensive line and our play calling. That's definitely going to be. He may have the most yards of all of our backs in the third and fourth quarter for the whole season.
Yeah. Like Coach Saban is pretty quick to point out that there's more guys than just Jace and Roydell. I love it. So. Good stuff, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. Call in anytime. I got room for you, man. And have a blessed evening. Get some good rest, man. And we'll catch up with you next time.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide too. All right. All right. You just called in. Let's just take it. Let's just keep it going. Hey, what's up? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hunter from Alabama.
What's up, man? Dude, you snuck in, man, right before we closed out, man. So Alabama has its first practice. Any takeaways from practice number 1, Hunter?
No, I mean, I think this is kind of early to kind of take anything big away at this point. But
100%.
It was nice to get to get some thoughts from Saban and some insight. I think Saban is a little. I don't know if you noticed in the press conference today, he kind of seemed kind of loose. He was joking around and talking and making jokes, and I think that's a good sign. Because in years past, when Saban's kind of been a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe like sometimes he like enters. Sometimes he enters like a little bit more like pissed off, kind of just like, not to say that he's like completely lax, but I'm telling you, Hunter, it's because for the first time he's coaching with like rat poison, and that's what he's thriving off of, because like he can now say that people don't believe in you, right? Like every single year, like, you know, it's probably been difficult if you're at the top of the college football stratosphere, not to say that they're like too far back, but everybody's, you know, feels that they could probably play with Alabama or whatever. So he's thriving off this. That's why I think he's a little bit more loose. I haven't seen him this loose, you know, from a first press conference since I've been here.
Yeah, I hadn't either. I mean, I think he's excited about this team, and I think I'm excited about this team. I think this team that we have this year has the potential to be really, really good. Like one of the best we've seen in years. I think he's more comfortable with the coordinator's positions too. I mean, you heard him a couple of press conferences ago say about the comments he made about Tommy Rees, and he knows what he's got in Kevin Steele. And so I think he's a little bit more relaxed than that. You know, I think if every Alabama fan had their wish, we would have Jeremy Pruitt as our defensive coordinator, but that's not the position that we're in. And he has a lot of history with Kevin Steele. So I think he's pretty relaxed on the coordinator front.
I mean, he's said some amazing things about Tommy Rees, probably been more complimentary about him, but he was very complimentary about Pete Golding too. I think he liked kind of, you know, the schematics of Pete Golding. It just didn't really translate for Alabama, but you know, he likes to mentor. Coach Saban's a huge mentor, and he said during SEC Media Days that he still feels 39. I think Tommy Rees is like 31 years old, so there's a big age gap, but I don't think it matters. I mean, you come with it, and you have that intellect and that IQ, and you can lead the quarterback room, and what an opportunity for Tommy Rees to continue to build his resume, right? Working with the Alabama quarterbacks and having the opportunity to mold even the younger guys that are coming in, and being able to have, you know, a far-out recruit like Julian Sain. I mean, we're talking about him, and he's not even on campus, but yeah, I think that Saban is very comfortable because he does know Kevin Steele and what he's capable of, and that Kevin Steele does know the expectations here at the University of Alabama. And then Tommy Rees is a young guy kind of on the rise, and you know, has a ton to work with, whoever quarterback it is. What else you got, Hunter, before we move on?
No, I just want to comment a little bit on the recruiting front here for a second. Shout out to Eric Wolford.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy, he's getting the guys he wants. He's getting the big, I call them dancing bear type guys. I really like Eric Wolford. I mean, he's bringing it. You know, he's always been. I mean, we've known. I mean, if you look at his history, he's known for producing these type of athletes. So I'm excited to see what he brings in year. Is it year 2 with Alabama now? Yeah.
Yeah, this is second year. Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, so year 2 with him. I'm really excited to see that. Another thing that I'm excited to see is what exactly our rotation looks like in the defensive back positions.
Mm-hmm.
When we know what we're getting with Kool-Aid, but a guy that I'm really, really interested to see, I think most of anybody on this team, is to see where Christian Story ends up playing.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they listed him as a safety, so you know, we'll see. We still got a guy like Antonio Kite, you know, right there at safety, and we've got Caleb Downs, of course. But Christian Story's been on this team for a few years, so I think he makes it in the rotation. But I do think that Caleb Downs gets his reps as well. So that's an exciting storyline to kind of follow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right, because they're like Christian Story is a guy we can't forget about, and a lot of people have pointed out Earl Little's name, and then I pointed out Jake Pope's name tonight. So that too deep. I mean, there's so much talent right within that group, and then we really haven't even seen where like Trey Amos is going to fit in. Same with Jalen Key. Add the vets like Malachi and other guys who are coming back like Kool-Aid and Taryn. I feel that Taryn has that spot locked up. I know a lot of people felt that maybe Trey came in to push him, and there's nothing wrong with competition, but I think it's going to be great, man. But I'm on the back end of the show, man, so I'm going to close it out. Thank you, Hunter, for sneaking in before we close out. I appreciate your support more than anything, and I'll catch up with you next time.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right. Take it easy. That was a long-time caller, Hunter. Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you, fam. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. It's so nice to be here at the college football season. This is a huge day for us as we have the first practice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Go watch Nick Saban's press conference in its entirety. Hope you enjoyed the show. I love it. I love being back here talking Alabama football with you guys and having these lives and taking your calls. I mean, honestly, I feel like I could probably have like an 8-hour call-in show. Like, you guys continue just to call in. It's great and makes me feel good. And, it's good to get your guys' feedback. So drop that feedback inside the comment box. Even, if you have like positive criticism, I want to be better at the craft. So let me know what you guys want to see. If there's something that I do, I'm always trying to work to get better. And I hope you guys can see that. And I really appreciate you guys. If you guys became members, hit the join button at the bottom of this video. Super chats sincerely appreciated, and a thumbs up goes a long way. So coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Thursday, August 3rd, Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. I will catch you guys tomorrow with some more video content. We got player interviews at 12 p.m. and the content don't stop. We got practice on Saturday and then media day on Sunday. Tons of coverage coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good night, fam.